Hello everyone, thank you for watching Edupedia World videos. So in this part 2 of the basics of change and transport system, we are going to learn about transport organizer. Now, transport organizer. The transport organizer is fully integrated into the ABAP workbench and customizing tools. You can navigate between them in both directions. This enables you to switch to the transport organizer from all transactions of the ABAP workbench and customizing, and switch to the appropriate workbench editor by double-clicking individual objects in an object list. The transport organizer records and documents all changes to the objects in repository and customizing. So this transport organizer, what it does, it records and documents. There is some documentation also regarding all the changes which we do to the objects in the repository and the customizing areas. So in the last video, when we have discussed about the basics of change and transport system, we have learned what is repository data, okay, the ABAP workbench, and the customizing data. So data which is client dependent and client independent. Okay, then we have learned about what is change and transport system, what is application data, and the system landscape. So here, whenever you do some modifications to any object in repository or customizing, you that is known as a change request. So each modification of an object and similar modifications of objects which are dependent, all of them are clumped together and they form a change request. So the transport organizer, it records all these change requests. Okay, and the ABAP workbench and customizing tools, from there you can go to this transport organizer. Similarly, from the transport organizer you can navigate to the appropriate ABAP workbench or customizing. Okay, so it is bidirectional. Now, different objects of repository are the ABAP dictionary objects, the ABAP programs, the screens, interface definitions, and documentation modules. Similarly, the customizing data, like the settings for organizational units and settings for control tables. So we have, these are the different types of repository objects, and these are the different types of customizing objects. Okay, so any changes which are made to either of them are recorded along with some documentation in the transport organizer. The transport organizer helps you when you organize development projects by allowing you to distribute project work for individual developments or teams between different change requests. These change requests record all changes made to the development objects and customizing settings. Objects from the areas of customizing and the ABAP workbench are managed and recorded in separate requests. What does this transport organizer do? It helps you to organize the projects by allowing you to distribute the project work for individual developers or teams between different change requests. Now, see, like some change we have made in repository or customizing, okay, or some new development we have made. So, okay, it's nothing but an object is changed or an object is developed. So the similar types of objects which are dependent are clumped and they are put in one change request. Okay, so why we have to do this, why we have to create these change requests? Because to divide the work among various teams or individuals, okay, it makes us easier. See, like, okay, these objects are dependent. Okay, these modifications which I'm doing to this object is related to a particular business process, so that I will assign to one team. Okay, so they will work on these change requests. Similarly, all the other change requests which are part of a different business process are clubbed together and they are assigned to a different team. Now again, in that team, when we have individuals, we can assign individual change requests to individual developer so that they can work on it. So it makes for dividing the work, okay, easier, and the dependencies are not missed Okay, they are not mixed. So what all objects which I work, they have some change requests and I work on these change requests. Similarly, another set of objects, they belong to a different change requests and some other person works on it. Okay, so the change requests record all changes made to the development objects in the customizing settings. Objects from the areas of customizing and ABAP workbench are managed and recorded in separate requests. So depending upon my work, okay, say like some user is asking to change some report, okay, so that report will have sub reports, etc. So what I'll do, once I start doing a change, I create a change request and I link that object in this change request. So I will tell like I'm working on this change request, okay, and it has, so that change request will have like what underlying objects are being created or modified. Similarly, it has a documentation also. So that makes our the work to be easier when it's divided among different individuals. Okay, so that transport organizer, it maintains all these change requests. So you can access the transport organizer from a request overview that clearly shows all change requests and allows you to display several levels of detail right down to the object list itself. Developments, corrections and repairs are recorded in tasks and transported using change requests. When you go to the transport organizer from a request overview, okay, you will see all the change requests, okay, and if you go into the details, you will see once you open the change request, you will see all the details like what objects it has, who is working on it, when some modification is made, all those things. So the developments, the corrections and repairs, okay, are recorded in tasks and transported using change requests. Now, the target system and the type of transport are assigned automatically and no longer need to be maintained by user. Several users can work together on a project by organizing their development work in tasks. These tasks belong to a common change request. Now, the entire concept of this transport organizer and the change in the transport management system is, so when you initially do the SAP implementation, you will say like, see, my data should flow from development to quality to production. Okay, so you will initially, we have seen in the earlier video where we have a 3-system landscape, we have seen the development, the quality and the production, and data flows from one system to another. So say like I'm creating or modifying a change request in the development system. Okay, so here once the transport route is laid, okay, among various systems, the system will automatically detect, okay, the target system, okay, because of the routes which are established, okay, and what type of transport it is. Okay, so everything SAP itself helps us with this transport organizer to make things easier, and several users can work together on a project by organizing their development work in tasks. These tasks, they belong to a common change request. So here see, now we have 3 types of divisions: personal, planning and development, the financial, and sales and distribution. Now these are the users, okay, so each user, they can create a task. A change request has n number of tasks, so each task is actually mapped to a particular object which is being modified or created. Okay, so here also this user is working on this task, this user is working on particular task. Okay, so see, this change request has only one task, this change request has 2 tasks, okay, and in that each task is worked by different users. Similarly, this change request has only one task, so minimum every change request it should have at least one task under it, and maximum it can have n number of tasks. Okay, so each task, it can be worked by one user, and one user can work on different tasks in different change requests. Okay, and it's not only that only one user is supposed to work on this task. Say like today I'm working on some task to for the next 10 days I'm on leave. So I hand over the say like to my colleague. I'll say like, see, I'm working on this task under this change request. Okay, so you please take care of it. Handing over the work, organizing the work becomes easy. The tracking of work becomes very easy with the change request. So what we should know is like a change request should have at least one task, okay, and it can have more than one task also, and users are assigned to work on change requests, okay. A package and a developer who is responsible for it are assigned to each repository object. This development class indicates which area the object belongs to. This enables you to quickly contact a person in connection with any object. The structure of the entire ABAP workbench is based on packages which can assist you in starting your work. Now, what is this package? Whenever you create, the ABAP workbench where we maintain the repository objects, okay, which is client specific or cross client, what we do when we create a new object, we assign a task to it. Okay, so what is repository objects? Like the enhancements which are made to the existing SAP code, the customer exits. Okay, when you create new programs, classes, or whatever it is, you first create a package, and all the similar classes and programs in that which are similar are assigned to a particular package. See, I have a FI package, I can have like SD package or whatever it is. So in repository data, whenever we are creating a new enhancement, first we create a package for it. Okay, so the development class indicates which area the object belongs to. So this enables you to quickly contact a person in connection with any object. The structure of the entire ABAP workbench is based on packages which can assist you in starting your work. So say like, yes, this is a finance. Okay, we see like, which that object, it belongs to which package. Oh, it's finance. Then you go and contact that finance developer. Okay, so why all these arrangements are made? To make the work more organized. The transport organizer provides version management for all repository objects, enabling you to compare or retrieve previous versions of objects. This lets you document or restore versions released before or after a particular change request or development project. Now, one more important thing, this transport organizer, it provides us the version management. Okay, so what is to do with this version management? Say like, I have an object. Right now I have done some changes. Okay, so that is known as version 1. Now the developer, maybe now or after some time, after some years, they make some more changes. Okay, so then that's known as version 2. Okay, so then if you check we can check like how many versions an object has. So then we'll come to know like in each version what changes are made. Okay, and we can retrieve the previous version also. Even the transport organizer gives that facility also. Okay, so you say like by mistake I have done some changes when saved it, a new version is created, but you want to roll back your changes, so you can retrieve the previous version also. So whenever a new version is created, whenever you do some change, new version is created when you save that change. Okay, and you write the appropriate documentation for what change you have made. Okay, so later, it's after some years, like if some person wants to know like, oh, this program is doing this particular task or not, then what they do, they go back and they check the version management, the different versions. Okay, so in repository objects where we develop new code, okay, the transport organizer, it provides a version management. Okay, now all developers working on a change request are required to write structured documentation when releasing their tasks. This states the aim of the project, its status, and any special features it include. In addition, all change objects are automatically recorded in the object list of the change request. This information, together with the documentation and version management, ensures that you have a complete control over all revisions made in a single or multiple computer configuration. Now, whenever you're doing some change. Okay, so first you have to write some documentation, and the transport organizer, it maintains the version management. Okay, so in this way we'll have a complete control of what all objects are developed in the changes which are made. Okay, to transport repository and customizing objects from the development system to other SAP systems in the system group, transport routes are used, which are defined when the system group is configured in the transport management system. The transport involves exporting objects from the source system in which the objects were changed and importing them into one or more target systems. Now, initially when we do the SAP implementation, we lay down the transport routes and we form different system groups. Okay, so then that information is maintained in the transport management system. So we'll learn more about the transport management system in the next videos. Okay, so as of now, all the system groups, the routes, okay, the connectivity is configured in the transport management system. So then say like I have now there is a big some company is there, it has different divisions in it. Say like one is coal mining, one is petroleum, okay, one is natural and natural gas, etc. Okay, so there is some minerals company. So each subdivision has its own systems. Okay, so see, my coal mining development system is different, my petroleum development system is different, etc. Okay, so by grouping the systems in a group and defining the transport routes, it becomes easier for us. So when you develop or change any object in the coal mining development system, so then automatically what is the production system, it will be SAP, it pulls like what is the target system for it, it checks the transport route and it gives like this is the target system for this developed object. Okay, so then it will be easier for us. Okay, similarly the petroleum development system, it has some route to the petroleum production system. So when you develop anything in the petroleum development system, the target system will be automatically assigned as the petroleum production system. Okay, so by laying these routes, the movement of data will be defined. Now one more thing is log. A transport log is created automatically for each change request. If errors occur in the production system after an import has taken place from a quality assurance system, the log enables you to immediately find out the following: which objects were transported, who requested the transport, why the transport was performed. Every change request has a associated transport log also. Okay, so this log is very important because when we import something into the production system from the QA, the quality system, okay, then you will find out like what this change request is having, what are the tasks and the objects under those tasks, who requested the transport and why the transport was performed. Okay, there are transport organizer tools available for searching, for displaying, editing and analyzing change requests and transports. So this transport organizer, like doing some change, and systems, they run for n number of years. My production system is live since last 15 years, and some development which was made in 10 years back or 5 years back. How to track all of them? That is the transport organizer facilitates all this. So any change made, any new development made, okay, so you have to do it under a change request. Okay, so when you open that change request, then you will see what are the different tasks under it. So each task has different objects under it. Okay, then the transport organizer also gives a version management, like different changes made to the object at different points of time. Okay, they are tracked in versions. Okay, so you can see all the old versions of that particular object. okay, and as well as you can retrieve the last version of the object. Okay, and the other important one is the transport log. So the log, it has all the information, like the tasks under the change request, the objects, in what systems the import is already done, all these things. Okay, and if the import has failed, even the log will show like what is the error, like why that import failed into a particular system. And it will show like, see, this request right now it was developed in this particular development system and it moved into the QA system. Now it's waiting in the QA system, it is yet to be imported into the production system. So all the entire information the log shows. Okay, and one more thing is, when some person is a developer is working on a change request, okay, that request will be logged. Okay, so the other developers, they can only view it, they'll not be able to change it, because say like if two developers are modifying the same object in the change request, it will lead to inconsistencies. So by this, using this change request, you can log the, when you go into the change mode, the change request will be logged, and all the other developers, they'll only be able to view it, they'll not be able to make any changes. So transport organizer, it's a beautiful tool in the transport management system. Okay, so this facility, it shows like how change requests are created. Okay, then each request having different tasks, different objects, how they are clubbed. Okay, from this transport organizer you can move into the ABAP workbench in the customizing tool. Similarly, from those tools you can come to the transport organizer. Okay, then this transport organizer, it gives a version management, then it maintains logs, so all these things. So that's why like transport organizer is a very important concept in the transport manager, the change in the transport management system in SAP. So we have seen the theoretical parts of this transport management, the change in the transport management. Okay, so in other video, in the next videos, we'll learn more about the transport management system, and after that we'll see like what are the different transactions, okay, which are used for this ABAP workbench, the customizing tools, the transport organizer, and the transport management system. So the transactions, we'll see them later, but okay, these videos are nothing but these are the basics of the CTS, the change in the transport system. So first you should know like what are these terms, like what is ABAP workbench, what is repository data, customized data, system landscape. Okay, then you should know what is a transport organizer. Okay, then one more important thing is the change request. Each request will have different tasks under it. Okay, then other thing we have learned is the version. Okay, every object will have a version. Then a log, a transport log. Okay, then what is a package. Okay, so first we should learn the various concepts in this CTS. Okay, so in the next videos, once we have learned all the what is this transport, what is a change, how it's organized in SAP, so later we'll know the actual transactions from where we can work. Okay, thank you.